All right, what's up, guys? VV back with another video. And in today's video, it is time to revisit Vegapunk. That's right, guys. This is a leader that I've become very fond of. It's a leader I was not a huge fan of when it first came out. In general, I will say, generally speaking, I'm not a big fan of leaders that cannot attack. But with me being a yellow main, okay, yellow is the main color I play in this game, I guess it was just a matter of time before I would warm up to a leader like this, right? But yeah, let's go ahead and do this, guys. Let's hop into it, see what we got cooking today. We got some fun stuff. Let me go ahead and lay it out for you real quick. First things first, we're going to head over to the deck list. I'll tell you guys what we're running. We'll break it down so you guys have an idea. And then after that, we're going to head over to the sim. We got 4 games lined up on the sim, and then we'll finish out the video by going over the deck list one more time, and I'll talk to you guys about this leader going forward. Okay? All right, I'll have everything time-stamped down in the general description, and I'll have all relevant deck lists and links and things like that in the comments section below. If you have any comments, questions, or suggestions, please do not hesitate to put those down in the comments section below, or hop on the VV Theory Discord. Link is in the channel description. Now, let's do this, guys. I can't wait to show this off. I tried to get some pretty decent matchups for us. That is something I always at least try to do, is get us some good matchups. But here we go. This is the list. I'm going to start off with the leader. For any of the new players out there, this is an OP07 leader, 5,000 power, only 2 life, right? Only 2 life. And the leader cannot attack. But check out this effect, very powerful. Activate main once per turn, pay 1, and then place up to 1 cost 5 or lower character with the egghead type from your hand, either face up on top of your life or into play. Okay? So very, very powerful effect there. I'm running mostly a egghead version, but there are a few cards here and there that are not, okay? So we're running 2 Satori, we're running 4 Atlas. Be sure to pause and read these if you don't know what they do, okay? For the newer players out there, make sure to pause and read these. So we're running 2 Satori, 2K counter, 4 Atlas, 4 Edison, 4 Shaka, 4 Pythagoras, however you say that, 4 Frankie, 3 of the Rocket Boots Luffy, 4 Lilith, 2 Jewelry Bonnie, 4 Nami, 4 S-Snake, 3 of the man with the world's greatest mind, 4 of I Rayquaza Help. It's called Please Save Me on the sim. I think the technical name is I Rayquaza Help. Okay? 2 Dareshi and 2 of these stages. Now, you might notice something right away. What is the average cost of cards in this deck? It's basically a 4, right? Like 5 to 4 is like the average cost. There's a few 3 cost. In fact, I think there's only like 2 3 cost characters in the entire deck, Bonnie and Lilith. Right? So there's really not that many. But overall, what we're trying to do, remember what our leader does. He will just, you pay 1 and you slam down a 5 cost character either into life or onto the board. That's the more important one for what we're trying to do. This is meant to be an aggro list, guys. It's meant to just slam down a character going first on turn 1, play out a 5 cost character that can swing next turn in the place of our leader. Because remember, our leader cannot attack. So we're developing bodies on the board, and then if they try to get too aggressive with us, no problem. The thing that yellow does the best is swapping things over on the opponent. Like, oh, you want to start going at my life? Okay, no problem. I'll gain a life this turn, and now all your numbers are going to be off. Because look at some of these cards we can play from our life. First of all, Jewelry Bonnie. Okay, this is a draw 2 trash one. There's things like that in here, like with Lilith, that can like draw cards pretty much when they get hit with the trigger. Lilith comes into play, does a top 5 search. Jewelry Bonnie's triggers draw 2 trash one. Then we even have removal in the form of Nami. But we also have cards like Shaka here that is a blocker. Okay, 5 cost 6K, 1K counter blocker, trigger. If your leader is Vegapunk, play this card. So very, very powerful interaction there. Pythagoras is also a very good card. It can't pull a lot out of the trash, but here it is still very good. It's a 5 cost 6K we can play right away. It has trigger to play the card from life if our leader is Vegapunk. But on KO, if you have 2 or less life cards, which you should always have more than, you should always have 2 or less life cards if you're piloting this version of the deck correctly. That is a 100% chance to happen. So on KO, if you have 2 or less life, summon a 4 cost or lower character with Egghead from your trash rested. Well, we have a few options, right? So Bonnie is Egghead, Frankie is Egghead, and so is Edison. Those are our 3, those are the 3 targets we're looking for, or even Lilith. I forgot about Lilith. But it's harder to get this card into your trash. You have to hope your opponent KOs it, right? Or maybe you can get into the trash with something like Nami, or a draw 2 trash 1 trigger, or Satori trash a card trigger. You can still get this card into your trash, but it's a lot harder to get it there if you're trying to combo it with Pythagoras, if they don't just get rid of it on the board. Excuse me, we are running quite a bit of removal in here as well. This Nami, very strong. Make sure you pause and read this if you don't know what it does. This card, a lot of yellow decks just run this card because it's very strong, right? This card was actually made for Vegapunk for the most part, right? This is an Egghead Straw Hat Crew card, and it's Nami, right? So, like, if you're running a red and yellow Straw Hat Crew deck or any deck that has a Straw Hat Searcher, it's usually going to be Nami, right? If you take a look at how things are in this game, Nami is the searcher for Straw Hat Crew. Well, you can't even search this card up if that's the case, because usually the searchers cannot search up cards with the same name. Okay, so this card was actually made for Vegapunk, even though they did not come out in the same set. Okay, so very, very powerful card here, and it's kind of geared more towards this leader. S-Snake, we are running. This is a strong card as well. 5 cost, 6k, 1k counter. On play, up to one of your opponent's characters with a cost of 6 or less, other than Luffy, cannot attack until the end of your opponent's next turn. The trigger activates the main on-play effect. I wish it would just play the card, and then we could do the on-play effect from there, but maybe that would have been too strong. At that point, they probably would have had to make it into a 5-cost 5k, 1k counter with that effect, but hey, I would have loved for them to do that instead, to be honest, because that is the true power in what we're doing with this version of the deck, is every time they attack into our face, we're getting a trigger, okay? I mean, literally, look at this deck, guys. Every single card is a trigger, every one of them, and when it's a trigger body, that's really what we're going for. We really want a trigger body most of the time. Okay. A few other things to go over real quick. Edison is a 2k counter, but it's a really nice on-play effect. Draw, if you have 2 or less life cards, again, you should always have 2 or less life cards. Draw 2 and trash 2. We'll take it. What else? And again, that is a 2k counter. So we're running 2 Satori, 4 Edison, and 4 Frankie. We're running 10 2k counters. We're running 4 3k counters. Make sure you read this card as well. Quasar Help, 1 cost counter if you have 2 or less life cards. Again, that's a big theme in this deck, is having 2 or less life cards. So we do want to stay at 2 or less life cards so we can get these effects off. And this is a 3k counter for one of your leaders or characters. And look at that trigger. That trigger is incredible, guys. Play up to 1 cost 5 or lower Egghead type character card from your trash. Really, really strong. Dureshi, we're only running 2 of these because we don't necessarily need it all that often, only if a game goes long enough. And I'm going to be honest, wait till you see the games, guys. These games are going by very, very quickly. It is rare that I've had to use Dureshi. In fact, I don't know if I even use it one time in the games we're going to look at today, in the 4 games we go over in the 4 games we go over today. Then we have the man with the world's greatest mind. This is just a 1 cost top 5 searcher for Egghead. It's really not bad. We're only running 3 of these because we are running 4 Lilith and we are running these 2 Bonnies. We have a lot of ways to, like, kind of, you know, between these 3 cards right here, the Lilith, the Bonnie, and the Nami, we're actually cycling through cards pretty decently because I've noticed your hand size stays pretty low. Well, that's really good because look at what Nami does. If we have 5 or less cards in, excuse me, if we have 3 or less cards in hand when we do this effect, we get to draw a card. So we're cycling through in that way. Draw 2, trash 1 here with the Bonnie. Then we have Lilith doing a top 5 search. We have this searcher right here. We have the Dureshi. If we get this card from our life, it's draw a card. This Monkey D. Luffy can draw a card with the activate main. And then we have draw 2, trash 2 right here. We have a way to trash card to play this out from our life. We have a lot of ways to get through some cards in this deck. It's actually more ways than you'd think. And that's about it. We are running the stage. Oh, there's 2 more cards I want to go over. The stage and this Atlas. The stage is really good. It is just a 2-cost stage. Trigger, we can play it from our life. But at the end of your turn, if your life is 3 or less, I don't know why they went with 3 or less. I think they should have gone with 2 or less, but whatever. If your life is 3 or less, set up to one of your characters with a cost of 5 or less with the Egghead type as active. So in other words, after we go ahead and swing in with one of our characters like Shaka, which is a blocker, we want to leave this card active, right? So we can get the blocking done. Okay, no problem. You swing in, and then at the end of your turn, just stand the card right back up. Okay, so really, really good stuff here with this stage. We're only running 2 of these. We don't need it. It's just a really nice advantage when we get it. And then last but not least, we do have this card here, Atlas. This card is a juggernaut in the early game. It's a 5-cost 6k, 1k counter. Trigger if your leader is Vegapunk, play this card. If your life is lower than your opponent's, this card cannot be KO'd in battle. Okay, it can be KO'd by effects, okay, or removed by other effects, but in battle, not happening. So I can swing in with this card immediately. It basically replaces our leader swing. If we get this on turn 1 going first, boom, we slam this card down, and now we have a 6,000 power body on the board attacking every turn, and we're not worried about our opponent's leader or characters attacking into it until our life becomes equal to or less than or equal to or more than our opponent's. Okay. All right, that's it, guys. That's the whole deck list. Let's go ahead and check it out. Let's see how it is. Let's see it in action, right? Okay, first up we got a game versus Blackbeard. That's right, volume is off, speed is on 2x, and here we go. I tried to get some pretty decent games today, guys. I got Blackbeard, Red Shanks, Red-Green Smoker, and Purple Luffy. So they're going to start off with a stage, which is an ideal start for Teach. We are going to get to start off with an Atlas, though, which is an ideal start for us. Okay, very nice. And we have the stage in hand and another Atlas. We're going to be able to slam those down if we need to and go crazy with that. Okay, so they're going to go ahead and trash a card with the stage, do some searching. They searched up a 10 cost. They got the Burgess in the trash to get a 10 cost in hand, and let's see what they choose to do. They're going to swing for 8 at us. We're going to take it. We get Edison, draw 2, trash 1. Excuse me. They should have used their leader effect first, but I don't think they were going to use it this turn. But after they saw that on play effect, they might choose to use it now. Okay, just waiting for our opponent. They do use the leader effect, which hurts them bad. They're down to 4 cards in hand, and we know one of them is a brick. We know one is a 10 cost card. We're going to swing 5K into leader. They take it. We're going to swing 6K into leader. We're probably going to play out the Lilith here and cheat out another character. Yep, I think that's the call. Play out the Atlas, play out the Lilith. We cannot do the search because they turned off our own play effect. That was very wise of them to do that, but it might still come back to bite them in the butt because we're still developing our board very quickly here, right? We'll see what happens. Excuse me. So they're going to go and trash the Marshall D Teach. It's like, you know what? I might not even make it to this card this game, right? That's probably the logic going on there. If they don't get some cards on the board here, they're going to be in a lot of trouble, right? They're going to be in a lot of trouble. We have Atlas on the board now. We have 2 Atlas they can't really deal with. And then we have the Lilith and the Edison they can. Okay, they're attacking in the face, and we're actually... I like to take these hits aggressively usually, but with him having 2 characters on the board and I don't have a blocker in hand, I'm not going to risk it. And then, of course, I top deck a blocker. That's how things go, right? That's just how it is. He did trash Liberation from his hand to turn off my own play effects for the turn. But, guys, we have 4 attacks coming in on turn 3. We have 4 attacks coming in on turn 3. We're going to swing 6, swing for another 6, swing for a 7 probably here. Yep. And now we're going to play out the Shaka, play out the Egghead stage, and we're sitting on 2 2K counters. Seems good, guys. This is going to drop them down to 1. Okay, they miscalculated there. We swung for 7 at the end. They did double 1K. I don't think it's going to matter in the end because none of those are going to help them here. They did get a trigger. It actually was to their benefit that they got out of that. It was actually to their benefit that they got out of that, or that they took that attack. That's okay. We're going to get Shaka into life here. We played out the stage. We stand up our 5K, and here we go. They're going to swing 5 into life. We're going to take it. We get the blocker. They're going to play out the Burgess with the Kuzan's effect to draw a card. They have 7 Dawn left for the turn. What are they going to do, guys? I don't know. Whatever it is, it better be really strong because look at all the attacks we have coming in here. Okay, we have, we're both at 1 life. If they attack in, we're probably just going to take it because we can gain a life next turn. You see what's going on here? We might counter out depending on how big the attack is. Or, we could block if we need as well. Okay, let's see what they choose to do here. They're going to play out a Burgess. They're going to swing it for 8. We're going to take it. It's, oh wow, it's the Quasar Help. I get to play a 5 cost for my trash. And guys, that is pretty much going to be game. My opponent is about to concede. I guess they expected me to block and like lose a character. It wasn't happening, guys. If anything, I could have 2K to get out of it. But I was going to go for lethal next turn no matter what because they only have 1 life and 3 cards in hand. Yes, they were a 2K and a 1K, so they're going to get out of 1 7K. But I've got bad news. I'm coming in for 4 more 7Ks this turn. 4. That's right, guys. So it'd be Atlas 7K, Shaka 7K. That's only 3 Dawn. And then I could put 4 more Dawn, 2 on each of the other guys. That would be 7 Dawn, and I'd have 1 Dawn left for the turn to put a card into my life if they somehow survived. Egghead stands up my blocker. I mean, it's just such a terrible position to be in. And the next card we were getting was an Atlas, which is not great, but there's still some possibilities there. Okay. Good game to my opponent. That was a brutal matchup. Very tough for Blackbeard. They have to get Liberation early on, or it is just too much of an uphill battle against Vegapunk, I think. Okay, next up we got a game versus Shanks. That's right, guys. Red Shanks. Volume is off. Speed is on 2x. Now it is. And here we go. Okay, we got some S-Snakes in hand this time. Very nice. We're going to go ahead and play one out on turn 1 just to get a 5 cost 6K on the board. I wish we could have played out an Atlas, but we didn't have one. That's okay. They're going to play out Uda. They're going to search up Divine Departure. They're going to play out another Uda. And let's see if they search up this time. Looks like I don't reveal it. Okay, I'm going to just start off with a 8K attack here. He's probably going to take this, right? I mean, I guess he could use leader effects, drop it down to a 7 and 2K, 1K, or just go 2K, 2K here. It doesn't matter. It's going to be 2 cards out of hand no matter what if they want to get out of this. Okay. And let's see what they choose to do now. Okay, they take it. Very good. And we're probably just going to cheat out the Lilith here. Get a card we need. I like getting the stage here. This was hard, but Pythagoras is also very good. I was going to say it was between stage or Pythagoras or a bunch of 2K counters. Those were some really good cards to see there. We go with the more aggressive option. I do like the stage, though, against a deck like this because look what they just did. They attack into my card. I just lost a card. I'm not defending it. Typically speaking, I would not defend cards with this deck, guys. I don't think it's worth it very often because you're going to fill the board out very quickly. Okay, we're going to go 6 and a 5. This is going to be leader effect and a 1K or maybe just a 2K. That's fine. Either one's fine with me. Yep, leader effect, 1K Beckman. We're going to play out the Bonnie for 3. And then we're going to use leader effect and play out the Pythagoras for 1. Yeah, that's right. A 1 cost 6K. We'll take it every time. And here we go. Now I'm already starting to think that I should have gotten the stage. Like, I think the stage in this situation would just be better. And that's something we'll have to consider later on. Yeah, because there's no way I'm going to keep characters on the board. Any character that goes sideways is gone. I'm not even going to save it. I'm not even going to try to save it unless it's just like a 5K or something. Okay, they play out the Luffy. Let's see what they're going to do with this. Okay, by the way, not getting rid of my Jory Bonnie, that is terrifying for them because I am going to try to cash in on that. Nice. They finally swing at face. We get Ira Quasar help here. We're going to play out the Lilith because remember, the S-Snake cannot target the Luffy, right? The S-Snake cannot target Luffy. We're going to play out the Lilith, and plus the Luffy's already sideways, so it wouldn't even matter. But we're going to play out the Lilith here, do a search, and now we have 3 characters to attack with. Now, there's definitely some kind of argument here to gain some life. We have to do things the correct way here. I want to be able to play out this Nami and cycle a card. That's why I'm doing a lot of math right now. Watch this. We're going to play out Pythagoras. Now, I have 5 cards in hand. When I play out the Nami, I go to 4 cards in hand, and then to do the effect, I have to trash a card. I go down to 3 cards in hand, and I'll get to KO a 5 or less, the Luffy in this case, and I'll still get to draw a card with the effect, okay? That was what was going through my mind right there. That's why this turn might have looked very weird to most people. This turn might have looked very weird to a lot of people. Okay, so now we're going to play out the Nami for 1 with the effect. We're trashing the Lilith. We're popping the Luffy. Now we have a card in the trash to get back with our Pythagoras. And now we're very happy to oblige here. Just swing, swing, swing. They did minus 1K to my Pythagoras. We get to do a draw 2, trash 1. We're probably going to trash the Nami because we have another one in hand. We're going to keep swinging, guys. We're not going to stop. They give us a 1K there, and now we're coming in for 5 more. They're going to give us a 2K. Sure, be my guest. We're just going to keep swinging for just 5s across the board at this point, or 6s, until he uses the leader effect. I just want one answer from every one of my attacks every turn. What is he going to get rid of? I think the correct answer here is to get rid of my Jory Bonnie. Okay, he might try to go for lethal here. Yeah, he's going to try to go for lethal. I'm going to use my leader effect here, 2K, 1K. Get out of that with an 8K, or get out of the 7 to going to 8K here. He's going to attack into my Pythagoras. I get to play out a Lilith. I get to do a top search here. Probably going to grab the event here because that is a 1 cost 3K counter in this situation. And here we go. 1 Dawn on Jory Bonnie, and now it is time to swing 6s across the board. Just across the board 6s here, guys. But yeah, this is a situation you don't ever want to find yourself in, no matter who you're playing against, right? Okay, he gave me a 2K, did not use leader effect, so I do have to keep swinging 6s. Okay, and whenever a hit goes through, I get to draw cards, 6 more. Okay, he still does not use leader effect. That's fine with me. Draw 2, trash 1. We're going to trash the Luffy here. We don't need that in this matchup, especially when we have a Nami in hand. Swing for 6 more. He just refuses to use the leader effect, guys, and I'm like, okay. So right here, I do mess up a little bit. I will talk about it as it happens. I swing in for 6. Or no, maybe it's not this turn. It might not actually be this turn. Never mind. Okay, so right here, what we're going to do is use our leader effect, and we're actually going to gain a life here. Yep, and we get the Shaka into hand. Or into life, excuse me. So now we don't just have 2 life here. We actually have, you know, a blocker as one of the life cards. We can replace any card on the board we want to, which would probably be the 3 cost 4K Bonnie. Okay. Because remember, we don't need that effect anymore, right? He has no more life to lose, so we don't get the draw 2, trash 1 effect anymore. But guys, our hand is completely stacked. We have 2 3K counters in hand, and then we have 2 2K counters and a 1K. That's also doubles over as removal. I don't know what they're supposed to do in this situation. They are deep in the tank. Remember, guys, I play these on 2x speed, so we are just waiting on them. They're going to play out Luffy here. Okay. Hey, it's a start, right? It is a start. Let's see what they choose to do. Pretty much no matter where they go, I don't care, right? Pretty much no matter where they go, I really don't care in this situation. If they go at face, we get the blocker, and we still have all this counter power in hand. If they go at my board, I just let it go. It really doesn't matter at all. They're going to swing for 8. I think we are going to cash in on some cards here just to get things out of the way, just to make sure he understands, like, this game's over pretty much. Yep. So I guess he was hoping to maybe be able to swing, like, 5 with an Uda to finish this game out. I have no idea. Guys, I have absolutely no idea. Look at their hand. They could have stayed. Okay, they were going to leave 3 Dawn active for 3 of these events here. But, again, it doesn't really matter, right? Because whatever they... Like, think about it. We're just going to keep swinging 5, 5, 6, 5, 5, right? So that's going to take 4 answers from them, okay? Excuse me, 5 answers. I can't even count. So we have 5 attacks on the board. Well, they only have 3 counters in hand. So, yeah, okay, leader effects for 1 5K, and then 3 effects for the other, or for up to 4 altogether, and then for the 5th attack, it just goes through. So they could have, I guess they technically could have gone for the board, but I'm also probably not just going to swing for 5. It'll be at least 6s all the way through. They can't even get rid of the Pythagoras. That replaces itself. They were in a nightmare situation. Good game to my opponent. All right, we got 2 more games here. We got a game versus Red-Green Smoker. Okay, volume is off, speed is on 2x, and here we go. I think this is the game I make a play mistake. I think there's a game coming up where I do make a play mistake. It almost cost me. It almost cost me dearly. Okay, so right here, we'll just swing for 7 with the Atlas or 8. Yep, that's fine because we can only use the leader effect now. It looks like we'll probably just play out the Shaka here. I do like playing out the Lilith, but I like to play the Lilith out with another card. Like on a 4 or higher Dawn turn, we can play Lilith 4-3 and then play out a 5 cost for 1, right? And okay, they swing in for 6 here. Beautiful. We take it. We get Pythagoras. Now we do need some cards in trash to get full value here. Okay, playing out the Nami, KOing that card immediately. Swinging in for 6 here. Probably swinging out across the board, guys. I'm just going to be honest. It's going to be 2 6s and a 7. Yeah, so swing 6, and then right here I should swing with the Shaka as well. Swinging in for 7, yep. And then we're going to play out the Lilith and get a card here. And we have 5 characters on the board. They have none. Remember, guys, this is turn 3. We went first, okay? We went first. This is turn 3. Now they're on their 6th Dawn turn 3. Our board is completely full. We do have a little bit of counter power in hand, not much. But if we lose any of these characters, I don't even care, right? I don't even care. They're going to play out a Smoker. I'm just hoping they don't play out the 3-cost Tashigi, which, hey, can they even do that at this point? Like, they'll be in so much trouble. They choose to not even attack in. They're like, I'm not giving him another counter. It's not happening. We're not giving this guy another counter. And they're right to do that. They were right to do that. So we're going to swing in for 6 here. And now we're going to play out the Nami, I'm pretty sure, to KO this Smoker. I'm not letting him have this card on the board. We'll see what happens. Might even get rid of the back rat. Might even get rid of the back rat here. Yeah. Get rid of the blocker, and now I can do things a little bit more aggressively. We did get a Dureshi. We're going to swing for 7. Okay. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is the game where I mess up a little bit. Could be wrong. Could be wrong. Okay. Swinging in for 7 there. He does counter out. Now watch this. 5K, 5K, 6K. That's right. 5K, 5K, 6K here to finish. Because I've changed my mind, and I'm like, you know what? Instead, I'd rather play a little bit more defensively from here. And I think this was dangerous. Let me just say that. Watch what happens here. If he had a Hody Jones, I almost lose the game. Let me say it like that. If he had a Hody Jones, I think I would almost lose the game. We'll try to do a little bit of math here. Okay, gets Rad Beam. We're going to swing for 6. I'm not risking it because watch this. I know he has Rad Beam. I know what he's doing. There's a Rad Beam. Beautiful. He was trying to bait me. We're going to Nami. We're going to pop that card. We have 2K counter in hand, and let's see what he can do here. If he had Hody Jones, that is the one thing that would get me. How much Dawn did he have? Hang on, I moused over it. He has 8 Dawn this turn, I think. Yeah, so what he would be able to do is he'd be able to swing for 8 and swing for 8. So we're going to probably we have to take this hit, and it's a 1K counter. So again, if he had Hody Jones, we would have just been in trouble. That's pretty much all we could have done there. And what I think I should have done instead, there's one thing I think I should have done differently this game. And instead of KOing the... what's her name there? The Baccarat. I should have actually just KO'd the Smoker and just let him have the Baccarat. Who cares about that card? And then I could have even gained a life this turn and everything. It would have changed everything. So that was a slight play mistake, but hey, in the end, we did get there at the end, or in the end. Okay. We got one more game here. We got a game versus Purple Luffy. Volume is off. Speed is on 2x, and here we go. Okay, we got the stage of this game. That is a beautiful start. We are going first. We took that away from our opponent. We're slamming down Lilith here. We're going to do some searching. We get a Nami. We're off to the races. This is an outstanding start. An outstanding start. Now, okay, now we're playing against the version of Purple Luffy that is fine with going second. And we're going to go 5 into that searcher there. We're in no rush. We're going to play out the Shaka. We're going to play out Egghead the stage. We're standing, and Dawn is active. Does he want to attack in? He can't swing in for 5. We get the free block. And if he attacks in for more than that, I take it. I might get a body on the board. God Thread gets rid of my Shaka. No problem. We have another one in life. Easy peasy, right? Thumbs up. We'll take it. Never punished. Okay, so right here, I do want to keep just slamming down characters on the board. That is my plan. I just want to slam down characters on the board every single turn. Okay, every single turn. We're not gaining a life here, right, guys? That would be a mistake. Gaining life, LOL. Why would we do that? Play out the Frankie, play out the S-Snake, stand up the Shaka, your turn, okay? I'm valuing development here over, you know, over gaining life, however you want to say that. They have another God Thread, by the way. Seems pretty good. Now, where are they going with this attack? If they go into my life, I take it and then gain life next turn. If they go into my board, I just let them have it, right? Okay, they're going to swing 5 in. We get a Nami. Very unfortunate for us. That was not a trigger body. It's one of the few cards in our deck that's not a trigger body. They're going to play out Rosinante, trashing a card to draw 2, trashing an event to draw 2. But now, okay, we can deal with this card. We have 2 Namis in hand. We're doing just fine. But we do have to gain a life this turn. So we're going to swing in for 6. I'm going to swing in for our biggest character first. Why? Does anyone know what card Purple Luffy runs these days in this version? Noro Beam Sword. It can rest down a character, okay? So we are playing around that to the best of our ability. We just got 3 cards out of their hand. We'll take it every time, and they are going to lose this body on the board. We're going to trash the 2K counter Satori to get rid of that and draw a card. We're going to cycle, of course, and now we're going to pay 1 and get this Pythagoras into life. That is a trigger. 5 cost 6K on the board. In a turn, we stand up the 6,000 power character. We're always standing up the biggest character we can. We don't want to lose the smaller ones. If we could defend the biggest character better, we would leave that on the board tapped and stand up the smaller ones that we can't defend. But in this situation, we need as much firepower as possible. They're going to go 5 into 5 here. There's a serious consideration to save this card. I have a serious consideration to save this card, but I just let it go. And I think that was the right call. They play out a Rosinante. They end up trash. They did not have a card to trash there. I think they played that out in the wrong order. They probably should have played that out as Senior Pink first and go about things that way so that he could draw more cards. But who knows? Maybe he needs the card from Senior Pink to survive this turn. Okay, let's see what we choose to do here. We're going to play out the Lilith. We're going to go ahead and grab Shaka. Very good card for us in this situation. Very, very good card for us in this situation. And here we go. It's time to attack out on the board. We're going to swing for 6. Let's see what he does. There's the card I was talking about, guys. That's the card. That 2-cost event is a 2-cost Dawn -1 2K counter that can rest down any character. It can't rest down a leader, but any character. They 2K counter out of that. They 2K counter out of the next one. They tap down our Nami. We play out the Nami there, popping Rosinante. We're going to gain a life. It's a blocker. We're going to stand up a 6K in a turn. Again, I mean, this is a situation where what are they supposed to do? They are up against the wall here. They're in trouble. 6 into 5, he can't have that. That's fine. That card ended up, you know, having a ton of value. He's going to go 5 into 5. That's going to get met with a 1K counter because this is not like the normal Purple Luffy list where I'm worried about a rusher coming in. I think they do run some rush cards, but it's not quite the same, right? They play out a Sangoro. We do get an S-Snake from the top that answers Sangoro for 1 turn at least. This is the turn I think I mess up. Remember what I was saying, guys? There was one game that I thought I had a big mess up in. It was a miscalculation. I think this is it. We're going to start our turn off 8 into 6. I want to be 2K over to force cards out of hand. What does he do? He lets it go. Okay, now for the rest of the turn, we could just swing 6s. And I get greedy. I get greedy, and it messes me up here a little bit. We swing 7. I think what we should have done was swing 6, 7, 7. We get a little bit greedy here. It's okay. It's fine. It's fine. Or no, I swing for 8 here. Watch this. This is a miscalculation. 7s would have been the perfect number. I should have, so pause. What's the problem here, guys? Well, look, notice I paused there. I actually paused in the actual game time, and now I'm pausing afterwards. Why did I pause? I needed 2 Dawn active at the end of this turn, because that would allow me to play out the S-Snake to shut down their blocker, and then I still have 1 Dawn active for my 3K counter event. Now, don't get me wrong. We have full knowledge of what is in our life. We have a blocker, And we have a 1K counter coming. Okay, so it's not like we just lose the game on the spot. They would need a very specific amount of cards here to survive. But we're going to play out the S-Snake here. We're going to lock down the Sangoro. They only have 2 attacks. We have 2 life. Okay, you know, and then one of our lives is a blocker in case they have a rush card as well. But it was a little bit dangerous regardless, and I would have much preferred to leave 1 extra Dawn active here, even if I only had to swing for 6. But I got greedy and swung for 8. We should have just swung for 7. Okay, let's see what happens, though. We're going to swing for 8. Okay, we're going to pass the turn here. We get to stand a card as, excuse me, we're going to play out the S-Snake, shut off one of the attackers so he can't draw a card. We're going to stand up the other S-Snake, and my opponent is up against the ropes right now. They're in deep trouble. Okay, here we go. What are they going to do? They need to have some type of rush card, or they just can't win. They just cannot win in this situation if they don't have a rush card. And next turn, can you survive? That becomes the question. Can you even survive next turn? Maybe. Maybe they can, maybe they can't. Okay, they're going to attach a Dawn there, swing 6 and a 5, you can have it. 7 and a 5, and again, I can't defend these if I wanted to because I didn't leave a Dawn active. They play out a Doflamingo, they do not use the effect, I believe, and then now it's at the point where it's like, okay, I think we're just going to swing for, I have to do the math here. I think it's swing for, hang on, pause. Let's do the math real quick. If they have a Gum Gum Giant, it's for 9. So what I want to do is swing for 11 with my first attack. My first attack needs to be for 11 for 2 reasons. A, if it's a Gum Gum Giant, it will take at least 3 cards from their hand or another Gum Gum Giant. So it'll take all those cards from their hand if it's for 11. Or B, if it's another Noro Beam Sword, I am going to get through every card in their hand and be able to win on the next attack. Okay, so a little bit of calculations there. After that blunder, so we end up swinging for 13. So 13 would have meant double Gum Gum Giant, just not get out of it. It'd be double Gum Gum Giant and an additional card from hand, and then I'd be able to go from there. And it also eliminates the possibility of the Noro Beam Sword, right? Because now they wouldn't have enough to get out of it, period. So good game to my opponent. They did have a Noro Beam Sword. Their next card was a rush card, but it would have been 9 Dawn, and we did have the Shanks blocker there, or not Shanks, Shaka the blocker, and they had a rest card in hand. That was actually a very close game, and that one little misplay almost cost us dearly, because what I would have liked to have done at the end there was maybe save a card, but we couldn't do that because we didn't use our Dawn efficiently last turn. Good game to my opponents, though. Those were really fun. Vegapunk is still a great leader, guys. This leader absolutely pumps in this more aggressive version. You could probably play it more, you could probably play it more defensively if you wanted to and go into like 9-cost characters or even the 10-cost characters like, okay, I don't know why it brought up all these cards. It probably brought up OP10, but you could bring up all these characters like Shanks and stuff like that. Or not Shanks. Why do I keep saying Shanks? I don't understand. Ace, okay, you know, first it was Shaka with Shanks, now Ace is also Shanks? What's happening? Okay, but if this is one direction you can go is playing out the 10-cost Ace, playing out the 9-cost Yamato. Maybe there's even some idea to run the 8-cost Katakuri. There's definitely an idea here to get rid of the, if you know, because I could imagine Green being a pretty tough matchup if they're running the Eustace Kids, in which they should be, right? If you're running Green and you're not running Eustace Kid, I don't know what you're doing. But yeah, this is a great answer to that card. And then we also have this Eustace Kid in the 8-cost spot to help burn life. There's a lot of options for going taller. But I'm going to be honest, the only one I would even consider right now would be this Katakuri, because it is at least a direct answer to the 8-cost Eustace Kid, which is a prevalent card right now, and green is probably a weaker matchup for this list. We did beat a Red-Green Smoker, but again, it all depends on the version of Red-Green Smoker. There's so many different versions of Red-Green Smoker, I don't even know if we were just playing against the most optimal one. I don't even think we were. Whatever the case is, a lot of directions we can go forward with the list. What do you guys think about this? Please say something down in the comment section below. I'm really curious to see how people, to see what people think about this leader in OP10. I think this leader can do well into most of the meta. I think against Blackbeard, we just flood the board so effectively, it's just hard for them to keep up. And in that matchup, as long as we have cards in our trash, like this Jory Bonnie, or this Lilith, or the 2K counter Frankie, or the Edison, or something like that to get back with our Pythagoras, I think that's going to be really good for us. Atlas just sits on the board, cannot be KO'd, but they do turn off a lot of our on-play effects like this Nami and this S-Snake. That's kind of annoying. Another card we can consider just include in the deck in general is York. This card right here, it's a 5-cost, 6,000 power character, 1K counter. On play, you may add the top or bottom card from your life to your hand, and then KO up to one of your opponent's cost 2 or lower characters. That isn't on play. It's not a win attacking. I actually thought this was a win attacking, guys. That would have made it so much better. But no, it's an on play that can do that. Not great for us, but it is an option. It is an option we can run if you don't like it. Say if you don't like S-Snake. I really like this card, but if you're just favoring more like early game little removal, this York card can hit some pretty good stuff, pretty decent stuff. What else? I'm trying to think if there's anything else. It would be nice for us to have a card. Well, I guess we do have Nami, and I guess we do have Luffy. So what I was going to say, I think the one addition to the list I will truly consider going forward is this card. Maybe we drop minus one of these searchers, because I don't think I even used this one time. It would have been nice to have. We just never saw them. But maybe we go minus one of this searcher and minus one of these S-Snakes, and we go plus 2 Katakuri. Because hear me out, if we're going against, okay, hear me out. If we're going against a Eustace Kid, a deck that has green Eustace Kid in it, this is our only answer. And what happens if they have the green Tashigi on the board? Well, now we can't hit it at all. Right now, we can't even hit the card at all, even with Katakuri. However, if we're on our 9 or 10 Dawn turn, like if they played out their Eustace Kid on curve on 8 Dawn or on 9 Dawn or later, we'll have 9 or 10 Dawn minimum, right? Theoretically, we'd have 9 or 10 Dawn minimum. Okay, well, if that's the case, with 1 Dawn in our leader effect, we can cheat out Nami to remove the Tashigi, or play out this Luffy to remove the Tashigi and draw a card in this case. They both will like cycle draw a card pretty much. And then we can slam down with the remaining 8 or 9 Dawn, we can slam down Charlotte Katakuri, get that card out of the way, establish a bigger body, and go from there. So there are some very, very strong options for the list we'll have to consider moving forward, and Katakuri is probably the #1 choice. I would maybe even consider going minus 1 of this searcher. We didn't use this Dareshi, I don't think, even one time. So maybe we go minus 1 of this card, minus 2 Dareshi, and maybe we go 3 Katakuri. What do you guys think about that? I think there's something to this. I do think adding the Charlotte Katakuri is the way moving forward. I think it is just a solid addition to the deck. Okay, that's about all I have for you guys today. This is the only card that was really in my mind the entire time. I will at least look at some of the other Egghead cards to consider. Now, this is coming out EB02. This is coming out very soon, and I will be including this into the deck. And believe it or not, I'll probably be including this in the deck over 2 Satoris, 2 2K counters, and 2 of this Searcher event. Because this acts as a Searcher anyway. Notice what it does. Blocker, on play, top 5. Look at the top 5 cards of your deck. Play up to 1 cost 5 or lower scientist type character other than Vegapunk, and then place the rest at the bottom of your deck in any order. And if your opponent has 2 or less cards, discard this card. Trigger draws a card. So in other words, yes, we will lose 1 trigger body, or 2 technically if we remove both of these. We would lose 2 trigger bodies, but we add in a 5 cost card that we can cheat out with our leader effect that cheats out another body while searching simultaneously. And this searches up a scientist type card other than Vegapunk. So just to go through, the Atlas is a scientist, Edison is a scientist, Shaka is a scientist, Pythagoras, Frankie is not, Monkey D. Luffy is not, obviously, right? No, I'm just kidding. Lilith is a scientist, okay? Bonnie, this version of this is not a scientist. Nami's not a scientist. S-Snake is not, and so that's about it. So all of these top 5 cards up here, so that's 4, 8, 12, 16, 20 options we would have by adding this Vegapunk. Okay, another option we could have, by the way, this is scientist. Let me see something. Play up to 1, cost 5 or lower scientist type character. Okay, so we would not be able to play this out with the effect. But I don't think it really matters, right? Because the main thing is this. We would just play this out and get one of these. Actually, hang on, it was just these top 8 cards, right? It was what did I, there were supposed to be 20. What, oh, excuse me. I was counting Frankie when I should have been counting Lilith. That's the other scientist card. So it's 4, 8, 12, 16, 20. Sorry about that, guys. I had that a little bit mixed up. But anyway, we could include these Vegapunks over like maybe just 2 of these cards. Maybe we don't even run a full play set of 4 of these, but it would be nice to have another blocker. I will say that. And remember, guys, with a card like Please Save Me or I Rayquaza Help, the trigger allows us to play a cost 5 or lower Egghead type character card from our trash. So there is a world where, okay, we grab this card back from our trash, and then he's a blocker, and then on play, top 5 search of our deck for a 5 cost or lower scientist type character other than Vegapunk, and place the rest of the bottom of the deck in any order. And if your opponent has 2 or more, we discard a card, whatever. Excuse me, if our opponent has 2 characters or less, we discard a card. So if they have a full board, it's really good for us. But look what it does. It's a top 5 search, and it plays the 5 cost. I really want to stress that it's not top 5 search goes to hand. It's top 5 search goes to board. So there's a world where we hit this from our life. And can we play this to our life, guys? I believe Vegapunk can add this card to their life, right? Place up to 1 cost 5 or less card with the egghead type from your hand face up on top of your life or into play. So for example, I don't think you can place an event into play. You have to activate the event. However, you can place an event into life. Someone correct me in the comment section below if I'm off on that. For the Vegapunk mains out there, I'm pretty sure you can put this I request our help into your life with the leader's effect if you need to. Well, when we get access to this Vegapunk, you know what that means? There's a possibility we get this card back, you know, so say they hit us and we take the life and we use this effect here. There's a chance we get the Vegapunk from the trash and do a top 5 search for a Shaka blocker. That's a double blocker after taking 1 life. That could be very, very strong, guys. There's other options as well there, but that's a really strong effect. Notice we're not running Nico Robin. This is a way more aggressive list. We don't have time to draw cards like that. I need trigger bodies to hit the board, and I will say that's the one problem with running S-Snake. This is a really good card, guys, and I am considering running York, this card right here, over the S-Snake because this card actually goes into play from life. So there is an argument to replace S-Snake with York. Oh, and by the way, look at this. This is also a scientist card. So when we get into EB02, I can pretty much guarantee you the list will look probably something like this. Let me get -4 S-Snake, and then I'll probably do -2 of the searcher events because we're about to have 4 of these scientist cards here that search as well. And then we'll probably go +2 York. So a slight adjustment there. We basically went -4 of the S-Snake and went +4 Vegapunk, and then we did -2 of the Searcher to go +2 York. I think that ends up being a little stronger. We'll have to see what happens when we get to it. Yeah, that's down the road, but in EB02, this is probably the direction that I'll be taking the list. There are some other options, by the way. There's still some other ones here. S-Shark. This is an Egghead Seraphim. Let me see something real quick. So these Egghead Seraphim cards are not scientists, but let me see if any of these others are. Oh, these are not. Hang on. Zoro's not a scientist, guys? No, I'm just kidding. Okay, so we got, yeah, so S-Shark, S-Snake, S-Bear, and S-Hawk, these are all Seraphim cards. They're all Egghead searchable, and they have, they basically all have effects that allow this card to have like a trigger. But let me see something real quick. S-Shark has trigger. You may trash 1 card from your hand, and if you have 2 or less life cards, play this card. S-Snake has activate the on-play effect, like we already talked about. S-Bear has trigger, trash a card from your hand, and if you have 2 or less life cards, play this card and KO up to one of your opponent's characters with a cost of 3 or less. That's not too bad, but otherwise it's not really a great card for what we're trying to do. Interesting, though. Very interesting. And then we have S-Hawk. This is a trigger, trash card from hand. If you have 2 or less life cards, play this card. I'm not as big a fan of these S cards, these Seraphim cards. I don't think they're as good for what we're trying to do. But I will say this: we do have to talk about S-Shark and S-Hawk a little bit more. S-Shark is Dawn ×1 when attacking. Your opponent cannot activate blocker during this battle. So when you swing in with this card for Dawn ×1 to swing for 6 or more, this card cannot be blocked. So there is some consideration here if this environment, if the meta shapes into like a super heavy blocker format, maybe we start running 1 or 2 of these cards. Who knows? Maybe it even takes the place of something like this Jory Bonnie. I have no idea. We'll have to talk about that later when we get to that point. Still a decent card. It's not bad, especially just like a 1 or 2 of in the deck. Just something you could potentially get from the top of your deck or playing out early on. Because on a 5 Dawn turn, remember, we can play out a 4-cost card like this and use our leader effect to play out another 5-cost or lower card. Okay, as long as it is Egghead type. Okay, I just wanted to make sure this was Egghead. It's like, wait a minute. Okay, of course it is. It's Vegapunk. Okay, then we have S-Hawk. This one's interesting as well. Dawn ×1. This is not on your turn. This is not when attacking. This is just a Dawn ×1 effect that is blanket. It happens whenever it meets the condition. And the condition is while your life total is lower than your opponent's, this character has plus 2,000 power and cannot be KO'd in battle by cards with the slash attribute. So in other words, if you have 1 Dawn attached to this character and you have less life, if your total life is lower than your opponent's, this is an 8,000 power character attacking if you have 1 Dawn attached, okay? And then on your opponent's turn, he's still 7,000 power until they have less life than you. Or excuse me, until they have equal to or less life than you, right? Because it says while your life total is lower than your opponent's. Not lower than or equal to or lower than. No, it's lower than your opponent's. So when they have equal life as you or less, then the effect turns off immediately no matter whose turn it's on. It's just a Dawn times 1 blanket effect. There are 2 other cards we do have to talk about real quick. Sanji, this is a trigger. If your leader has Egghead type, add the top card from your deck to the top of your life, then discard 2 cards. It's a way to gain life. It is an Egghead card, so you can place it there with your leader effect. I don't really love this card. It is a 5 cost 6k though. There is something to mention there. Maybe this does be... I mean, guys, let me say this. If you don't really care for this York card, if you're just not a huge fan, I understand. I'm not a huge fan either, to be honest. It's still a trigger body, though, at the end of the day, but you can replace this if you want to with something maybe like the Sanji here, which is a way to basically get, you know, you can cheat an extra life out for the turn by trashing 2 cards from hand, right? So if your leader has Egghead type, add the top card from your deck to the top of your life, and then discard 2 cards. Seems good. Okay, next up is Brook. This is a 5 cost 6k 1k counter just like the Sanji, and it has it's an Egghead Straw Hat Crew type card. Trigger, if your leader has the Egghead type and your opponent has 6 or more cards in hand, they discard 2 cards. I actually like this card a lot. When I first saw it, I was a really big fan of it, but the biggest problem is, number 1, it's not a trigger body. Number 2, it's not a scientist to go along with the new EB02 tech we're trying to implement when we get to that point. And then number 3, you know, this card... it's just a trigger effect. So when we play this out for 5 or for 1 with our leader's effect, we cheat it out for 1. It doesn't really do too much. And once your opponent, you know, if you put this card into your life to set it there, now if it hits them when they're totally off guard, they lose 2 cards from hand. But again, we don't develop a body. I'd rather have the body swing for 7 to get 2 cards from their hand that way, if possible. But otherwise, if you play this card out, they'll just play around it, right? Either A, they won't attack into life for the turn, or B, they'll use up all the cards in their hand to get down under 6 cards in hand, and then swing into your life, and then you lose the full value of the card. So I'm not a huge fan of this card for that reason. I still like the effect, and I love the picture with the greens and golds in the background. I think it looks really good, the greens and teals and yellows and whatnot. But unfortunately, it's just not super practical, and it's kind of the same idea with Nico Robin, where it's like, yeah, this card is incredible. Trigger, if your leader has Egghead type, draw 2 cards. There might be a reason to still run 2 of these over the Egghead Bonnies, if that's what you want to do. I wouldn't fault you for that, but I'll say right now, I like the trigger, draw 2, trash 1 on this, so it's only a little bit worse than just drawing 2, but the number 1 thing about this card is it's like, I'm going to play this on the board, right? When I have this in my hand, it's going to hit the board, and then I'm going to go from there. Whereas Nico Robin, we don't ever want to play this card out. This card should never hit the board, right? It's the complete opposite, and this is going to draw 2, trash 1 every time I take a life with it on the board, at least once per turn. So yeah. All right, that's about it. Should I mention, there is one more thing I want to mention. There is a 2k counter Usopp here we can mess around with. Trigger, up to 1 of your Egghead type leader characters gets plus 2,000 power to the end of your next turn. So this is a nice way to, it's kind of like Flapping Thread, I think it's called, for green Don Quixote Pirates, where you get plus 2k for the turn, and it's a 2k counter. Really not a bad card, to be honest. Like there's actually an argument to run this over Satori. Yes, Satori is a trigger body, and we do favor that, but this is a 2k counter, and it's searchable, right? We can search this up with something like a Lilith. Yeah, it's not a scientist. We can't cheat out with the Vegapunk, but still, we wouldn't want to do that anyway. You know, it's a solid card, I will say that. It's a really solid card, and who knows, maybe there's like some a special tech we could do in this deck, where like, okay, let's go ahead and, you know, pay 1 with our leader. So on a 10 Dawn turn, right? Pay 1 with leader, play out the Shaka or something like that into our life, and then we'll play out Usopp here just for nothing, just play it on the board. And remember, that's a trigger effect, so it won't do anything for the turn. But play this card out and then play out our Katakuri and just put this card into life. We would gain 2 life, and we'd have a 7,000 power leader after our first attack, you know, or after our opponent's first attack. So there could be something there. Okay, and then the one other thing I wanted to say is there is an idea to run rush characters in a deck like this. At 7 cost an L's not bad. 5 cost 7k Ace. I've seen a lot of people run this. I've seen a lot of people run this as well. Unfortunately, we can't really run this card for the when attacking effect because I believe... Actually, hang on. No, we can run it for the when attacking effect. Not that we would really want to, because our leader is not Sky Island. This card does not have Rush. but just the ability to gain life every turn, that's not the worst thing in the world, but I don't think we can fit this in the deck over something like Ace, which kind of does the same thing, but is a little bit better, because, you know, we will get rushed with this card. Against everything but Blackbeard, let me say that. Against everything but Blackbeard, Ace is basically just a better card than an L. In Vegapunk, let me specify, in Vegapunk. In Sky Island, this card's incredible. Okay, but Enel's another good choice we have. This Zoro's kind of interesting. We cannot use the trigger effect. It says you may trash one card from your hand if your leader has Supernova type, play this character. Excuse me, so we can't play that. But this is basically a 3-cost 5k rush card for us, you know, in Vegapunk, because we're going to start the game off with 2 life. So we're almost, that will almost always be active up until like probably turn 4 or 5. Katakuri is another interesting idea. I actually like this card better in the deck than the Zoro, because this card is at least, well, it is hard to say. Playing this out on 3 Dawn is really nice, because if we have to go second, it's a 4 Dawn turn on turn 2, right? So we get to go leader effect plus the Zoro, so we get to swing in immediately to get the pressure on and develop another body. Whereas if we're going second, the Katakuri is not as good. It's still good, but it's not as good because we just play this one card down and go from there. I guess we could always just wait till our 5 Dawn turn and do what we were just saying. I don't know. It's, you know, you guys tell me what y'all think in the comments section below. But Ace is just a good card in general, and guess what? If we have 2 or less life, oh, well, it just so happens we will always have 2 or less life, right? Whenever if we're playing this deck correctly. So this is basically a 5-cost 7k rush card permanently in this deck. So there's something to be said there. This card's actually very good. The Yamato, this is a card that I really love, but at the same time, it doesn't quite do what we always want it to do. Right, it's a 5-cost 4,000 power 2k counter rusher, but the on play is look at all your life cards and place one of the cards on the top of your deck, and then return your life cards in your desired order. So you're actually going down a life card. Well, we don't really want to do that with Vegapunk, right? We're not really trying to do that. We're trying to use our life very meticulously and going from there. So not a great option in the deck, but I guess it's better than nothing if you have no other option. I think this Ace is the best bet, though, or this Zoro. I would definitely go with either this Zoro or this Ace. Katakuri does deserve some consideration. On play, look at the top card of you or your opponent's life, and then put it at the top or bottom. And then if you have less life cards than your opponent, this character gains Rush. So it ends up being a 4-cost 6k with Rush, and we get to look at the top card of our life or our opponent's, and then put it on the top or bottom. So it's a really solid effect there. It's a 4-cost 6k body. And I guess going first, which is what I do always try to go first with this deck, I think, because turn 1 slamming down Atlas or Shaka or Pythagoras or soon York, if we put this into the list, it's just really good, right? Or even Lilith, potentially. You know, there's a lot of option there. And then on turn 2, we end up going, okay, play out the stage, you know, so on our 3 Dawn turn, play out the stage for 2, and then pay 1 to drop another 5-cost, you know, monster. And then on a 5 Dawn turn, we would be able to play out the Katakuri, search everything from there, swing in with Rush, and then with our remaining 1 Dawn for the turn, we could do whatever from there we need. You know, putting a card into our life if we're down too low in life, or playing a card to the board, whatever we have to do. So there's definitely some option. There's a lot of possibilities there. I do like this Katakuri. I love playing out this Katakuri going first, or the thought of it. I haven't tried it yet. The thought of playing this Katakuri out first, I love that idea. But going second, this Zoro is hard to beat, right? I mean, going second, this Zoro is incredible, because it's like turn 1, leader effect, play out a character. Turn 2, play out the Zoro, swing with this, and then swing out with the character we played turn 1, and then we still get to play out another character, like maybe Luffy or something, whatever it might be. Yeah, really good stuff there. A lot to talk about. We'll have to figure this out more over time. All right, I'm done yapping. I thought I was going to be done like 5 minutes ago, but here we are. This leader has really grown on me. I don't know what it is. I did not care for this leader at first. Excuse me, this leader right here. I did not care for this leader at first, but over time it has really grown on me, and it's a lot of fun. I'm not saying it's a top-tier deck or anything like that. Don't misunderstand me, but it's probably better than a lot of people realize. It has a lot of cool tricks it can do. All right, really anxious to see what you guys say in the comments section. See if you guys have any spicy tech cards that I missed. Be sure to tell me down there. If I missed anything, help me out, but please be nice. And I'm done on that, guys. Let's go ahead and get the outro up here. Okay, there we go. Thank you to everybody who supports the channel, guys, whether you're liking, subscribing, sharing, commenting, viewing, using my TCG player affiliate link, whatever you're doing to help out the channel. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Guys, if you're helping me out by donating through Patreon, PayPal, or just whatever donations, I really appreciate you with that. Thank you to all the Playmat supporters, YouTube members, and Discord community. Hey, we're having a good time over here on the VB Theory. Thank you, guys. Wouldn't be the same without y'all. You guys are the ones making it possible. You guys are part of that community, so thank you so much. All right, I'm done. Please don't forget to like, subscribe. If you have any comments, questions, or suggestions, please don't hesitate to put those down in the comment section below. And yeah, until next time, guys, peace.